We're starting with section 8.5. This section is dealing with second degree equation that we also call it quadratic equation. So what I did here on the document that I already put on Canvas, I show you here two different formula that we normally use in order to graph a problem. And you see these two formula? So when you're dealing with second degree equations, you either see the formula in this format or in this one. Graph of second degree equations, which is this, second degree equation, see how it has power of 2? Graph of second degree equation is the parabola. The parabola can open up, down, right, and left. But here we're just discussing when the parabola open upward or downward. When you see equation in this form, if the value of a, which is sitting in front of the x, 2, if this is positive, is indication that the graph opened upward. If a is negative, means the graph opened downward. Vertex is the highest or the lowest point on the parabola. Okay, so let's say you have a parabola and it opened downward. The highest point is the vertex, they call it. And if you have parabola open upward, then the lowest point is the vertex. So it's either lowest point or the highest point. And this point has a value of x and y. These two numbers are coordinates of this vertex, means this is like the x and this is the y value. Now, so when you're dealing with formula in these sections, we should have this sheet with us because it's very good information as how to find the vertex, how to find the y-intercept, and so on. So here, the very first problems, equation is h of x is x2 plus 7. So in this one, it sounds like I need to use these equations. In this equation, you have a, b, and c. But here, I have y equal x2 plus 7. You don't see any x. Okay? So basically, here, you could write it like this. You could write this as y equal x2 plus 0, x plus 7. See? Then what is the value of a? 1. B is 0 because you don't have the second term. And c is 7. You understand that when your equation is in this form, the c is the y-intercept. And also, if a is positive, the graph open upward. See, a is 1. A is 1. That means the graph open upward. C is 7. C is y-intercept, means on the y-axis, you gotta find this 7. So my parabola going through this point and also going upward. Now, how do I find coordinates of this point? You could actually read this point off of the drawing. Look, do you see any x for this? No. And what is the y value? 7. So here, coordinates of this point is 0 and 7. So you could actually read that off of the graph. But if you want to do calculations, x of the vertex is always minus b over 2a. But since b is 0, regardless what the a is, 0 over any number is always 0. So x is 0. Anytime you want to find the y value when you have the x, you always take the x and you put it in the original equation. So find the y. If I put the 0 here, y is 7. So vertex is 0 and 7. You know, every parabola, it has a line that this line goes through the vertex and split the parabola into two equal pieces. It split the parabola into two equal pieces. They call this axis of symmetry or equation. It has an equation, axis of symmetry. Is the line that is split the parabola into two equal pieces, or here it would be something like that. What is equation of this line? Because all the vertical line equation is x equals something. What is equation of that? Is just this x. So you're using that x here. So for instance, if the vertex is 2 and 5, then x equal 2 is equation of this line. So axis of symmetry is x equals 0. X equals 0 happen to be the y-axis. Y-axis is also, this y-axis happen to be line of symmetry. Equation is x equals 0. Now this one, look at the equation. It's parentheses to power of 2. So that reminds me of this equations, okay? So you could either do that, or you could just take x plus 3 and raise it to power of 2. Or I think the way I did it here, I'll just took x plus 3 to power of 2 and write it as x plus 3 times x plus 3, which when you do that, it gives you x2 plus 6x plus 9. So in that case, I don't have to use these equations. Okay, I'll go ahead and use that one. A is 1. 1 is greater than 0. A equal 1 is greater than 0. So that means parabola open upward. Y-intercept is 9, means the parabola intersect the y-axis at 0.7. So at 0.7, the parabola intersect the y-axis. So you already have this point. Now you need to find the vertex. X of vertex is minus b over 2a. B is 6, a is 1, so that would give you -3. Now, anytime you want to find y of vertex, when you have the x, all you need to do is take the x and substitute for x into this equation to find your y value, and that's what we did here. So vertex is -3 and 0. So you find this point here, and you know that it goes through the intercept. So you graph this, and then the other piece is reflection of this piece with respect to this line. Line of symmetry is x equal -3. Remember, line of symmetry is this x. The equation is this one. So now we go to the next one. Now for this one, the problem is f of x and y are the same thing, by the way. Is x minus a to power of 2 plus 2. So for that reason, that reminds me of this equation. because it has a parenthesis that is the power of 2. So I write a general equation. And you see that h, when you compare this, the general equation with this one, h is 8 and k is 2. H and k are coordinates of the vertex. So when equation is written in this form, you could read h and k off of the equations. 8 and 2. So I find this point. X is 8, y is 2, is this. What is the A? A is 1. A is 1, which is greater than 0. So when it's greater than 0 means parabola open upward. So from here, from the vertex, you have to graph that. And remember, this x is also equation of the line of symmetry. Line of symmetry that is split the parabola into 2 equal pieces. Very similar. But remember, the formula is x minus h. So when you compare this with x plus 1, you can't say h is 1, because if you put 1 here, if you say h is 1, then you get x minus h, but we need x plus 1. So x minus h now is x plus 1. Look, x minus h now is x plus 1. If you cancel the x and x, what is the value of h? H is the negative 1. Okay, so h is always, in this case, opposite of this. See, this is positive 1, right? What is opposite sign of positive 1? Negative 1. Here, look, is minus 8. What is opposite of negative 8? 8. So h and k. K is 1, h is negative 1. So you find this point. This is the vertex. And line of symmetry is just this. It sounds like this is this formula, but B and C both are 0 because it doesn't have this piece. See? It's just AX2. So what is the value of A? 111. Does it have B and C? No, both are 0. You see? So how do I find the vertex? X of vertex is minus B over 2A, but look, B is 0, so the whole thing is 0. When I take that 0 and substitute here for the x, y also is 0. Remember, h of x and y are the same things. So vertex is 0, 0. A is 111. 111 is a positive, right? This is positive, so it's greater than 0, so parabola open up. On this one, if I write the general equations here, which is a x minus h to power of 2 plus k, what's the value of a? Negative 3. What is the value of h? Opposite of this. If this is positive 2, h is negative 2, and k is 1. So what is the vertex? H and k, negative 2 and 1. This is negative 2 and 1. And a is negative. When a is negative, parabola open downward. See? Parabola open downward. What's the equation of line of symmetry? Is this h, which is x equals negative 2. Is always the value of the x value of the vertex, or the first value of vertex is your line of symmetry. See, I write a general equation here. What is the value of A when you don't see any number? Is 1. A is 1. A is 1, which is what? Greater than 0, right? So the problem open upward. What's the vertex? What is opposite of negative 6? 6. And to find the other value is right here. See, H and K. H and K is 6 and 5. You find the vertex, go up. Again, you write the general equations. Opposite of positive 2 is what? Negative 2. That's your edge. K is just this number, whatever you have. Negative 4. Vertex is negative 2 and negative 4. Line of symmetric is that. It's very similar to that one. See, same thing here. All right, so that would be the end of this section using both formulas.